Hey, y'all remember when Johnny Cash made that song about that dude who wanted to fight his father over the name he gave him? Right. So one day, me and Johnny Cash, we was chilling. It was the state fair, so we out there by the rides. We about to go on the Ring of Fire. So it's been a long line. So we, just start talking. And he was like, "Yo, did I ever tell you about my homeboy who dad named him Sue?" I was like, "Ain't no way no man named his son Sue." He's like, "Yes, he did." Now let me tell you the story. Cause my homeboy, he was like 3 at the when he was growing up. Like so when at the time his daddy left. So he left him around 3, and he ain't leave nothing but like a guitar and some booze for this child, right? And so he went on about his business. But the one thing that he did leave the child with is he ended up naming this kid Sue. Now when your name is Sue, it had to be like some type of sick joke because he got laughed at from a bunch of folks, and they had a good time with it. Some girl would giggle and he would turn red. Some other dude tried to say something about his name, and he ended up busting this dude's head because when your name is Sue, fight or flight, but really you just gotta fight. So he grew up fast and he grew up mean, and then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna search everywhere high and low to find the man who named me Sue, because something got to be done about this. He's gonna be playing pitter pat with St. Peter when I get my hands on him. So he goes looking everywhere, high and low, all these different honky tonk bars and everything. So when he goes to Gatlinburg mid-July, I said, Gatlinburg? My Gatlinburg? He said, yes, your Gatlinburg that you love to go to. Mid-July, he's there. He goes into some random bar, I guess to drink or whatnot, and he sees him right there, the mangy dog that named him Sue. And he could tell it's him because of the scar on his face that, his mother had an old picture of. So he walks up to him like, hey, I'm Sue. How do you do? And so he decks old buddy between the eyes, and then they start getting up, scrapping. He ended up cutting off. The dad ended up cutting off a piece of his ear, and they're kicking, gouging, fighting, and everything. And he's like, man, and Sue told me, he's like, man, I have fought a lot of guys, and I'm pretty sure I fought tougher, but none that I can think of that kicks like a mule and bites like a crocodile. So they go for their thing, they pulling out their pieces, right? The dad tried to go for his, but Sue grabbed his first, and he pulls it out, and the dad, he starts smiling, letting the dad's kind of crazy. So the dad's smiling, right? And then he's pointing at him, and he's like, look, you doing all this stuff, but at the end of the day, anytime you fight and you win and you do all that, just remember, I'm the son of a bee who named you Sue. And I knew I wasn't going to be there for you. So I knew somehow you had to toughen up. And with a name like Sue, you either going to be tough or you're going to get beat up. That's what it was. So, they put the pieces down. He's like, what up, Paul? He's like, what up, son? They start rapping and everything is cool. And, he still think about his father from time to time. And, even made him change his perspective on being named Sue. So I was like, well, did he have kids? He's like, yeah, he had kids and even knew what he was going to name them. I said, what? He said, Bill, George, something. It is anything but Sue, because I still hate that name. And, and then Sue went to live happily ever after, I guess.